We're going to pop into our next turn here. We've got several things moving around since the last episode, episode 5. We've got this scout down in Philadelphia. We've made it through the American wilderness, it looks like. And there are a lot of tiles of tundra forest down here. Let's see. Okay, we found Buenos Aires, which is I really enjoy being suzerain of the city-state. So we'll look at our city-state relationships here after this turn. We're going to plop down that lumber mill. It gets us a Eureka boost towards mass production, which is great to have. We'll also get a lot of production from that lumber mill. We're going to capture this builder unit, which isn't going to do a whole lot with our scout. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and we're going to have to walk him all the way back to our territory. But we did step on this tribal village, which I don't know what it really granted. I didn't see. Maybe it granted us that Eureka. Maybe it did. Okay, we've got a little bit of movement speed left with this scout. I think we'll just leave them tied together for now. Let's go back really quickly. And so this is now a +1 food, +4 production, and +1 faith. The faith is doing nothing for us really, but that production is great to have. Let's make sure we're working the right tiles here in this city. And it looks like we are working everything that we can. We've got some +1 food and 1 gold tiles that are being worked. And that's just because we've got 9 pop in the city, and there's just not a lot of great tiles to have in here. In reality, we could buy this crabs tile, which I think that I will, whether it's now or, well, let's see. Where are we? Interesting. Let's go ahead and buy it. It's 155 gold. We'll just get it out of the way. We're going to send that builder up there and get it online to get the extra gold per turn. Again, that city is working so many +1 food and gold tiles that it's just super inefficient. So we want to get whatever tiles we can online to help it out. We're going to continue to walk this scout wherever we can. Just explore as much of that continent as possible.
Organisms don't
Sweet.
think of CO2
We've
as a
found
poison.
the Great Barrier
Plants and
Reef.
organisms that make shells, coral. Think of it as a building block.
I hate skipping these animations just because they're so beautiful in Civ 6. I love seeing the fish swim through that coral reef is pretty nice. So that gets us some era score. Looks like +1 era score for finding the Great Barrier Reef. It is, whoops, where's this builder? Let's go ahead and get straight to, you know what, while we're here, we'll plop down a farm, get the extra +1 food on that tile that we can. We're going to send this scout, hopefully he doesn't die, over to this land here to continue exploring. This builder, I don't know. If it makes it, it makes it. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Again, it was a free unit. Not too worried about it. Let's see what quick deals we have. Can't purchase any luxury resources. That's all I really care about. Maybe we can sell some iron. How much am I making in iron per turn? Accumulating 0 per turn. So it looks like we just traded that, I guess. I wasn't thinking about it, but I guess we traded for some iron at one point. It's sitting in our stockpile, and so we'll keep it there. We're not gaining any per turn. We're sending a settler up here into this tundra area, and there's not a whole lot of resources to be had up there, which is disappointing, but it is the land that's open, and having a fourth city would be phenomenal for unit production in the future. We're going to continue on with our next turn. We do still have a governor promotion we haven't used yet. Let's see what to explore. We'll send him, okay, well good. I sent him to what I thought was the coast. It ended up not being particularly coastline. We're going to send this quadrime as far in as possible and onto the Great Barrier Reef. We're going to take this builder, and the last charge will be spent getting those crabs online. We are not at war, so I'm not sure what he's yelling at me for, but take it. There's a World Congress meeting, so we've got 2 votes here. We've got Urban Development Treaty, 100% production towards buildings in this district, or no buildings can be created in this district. Let's do 100% production, and let's say, for me, it's either going to be campus, city center, or harbor. I think the AI will probably say holy site. Industrial zone also wouldn't be bad, but why don't we do, let's say campus. I think city is going to win it, but I would prefer that it be campus. And patronage, so either earn double points towards great people of this class or no great people points towards the class. And we'll say, let's say writer. We'll get culture going in the game. See if we win either of these. So it turned out to be, oh no, no points earned towards great scientists. That really is going to suck as a civ that's pumping out science per turn and great scientist points. So we will need to swap out our policy card that's granting us +2 scientist points per turn because it's going to be doing us nothing for this Congress. It's going to reconvene in 30 turns, or if there's a special session called. And then urban development, it was city center. And so that's fine. Not upset with the city center. A little bit upset with the scientist, actually very upset with the scientist points. And let's see what we need to do with our government right away. This is the card here that's doing nothing for us. It'll cost me less than, where are we at? We're 3 turns away. It'll cost me less than 1 turn of gold to unlock it right now, which I'm just going to do. And let's plug in Great Writer per turn just to be making something out of that card slot. We've seen pretty much, yeah, seen pretty much all that we can down here with this quadrime. The settler has arrived up in Geelong, and what would make the most sense is settle as far to the east as possible to prevent Samaria from settling over in this area. I don't need to push it and settle here. It doesn't buy me a whole lot. I could settle here. That still gets me a decent harbor in one of these spots. Let's do a little bit of planning. So if we drop down attack here for the city center, we can say the harbor either goes here or here. Both should be, yep, both are +4. Alternatively, it doesn't look like there's a reef there, but maybe, yeah, we're getting +3 on a campus. Not great. Not bad, but it's just not really worth per se. And it does bump this harbor up +1 as well. I think maybe, what if we move the campus over 1 tile? It'll be a little bit lower campus, but then we can plop in a theater district. That's not the move. It's not the move we want to make. So maybe we do it this way. Theater district here, which is +0. Whoops. But if we add an entertainment complex in between, that'll feed these 2 cities plus another city that we settle up here. I'm starting to like this a lot. We could also drop another entertainment complex here. That becomes +5. If we drop another theater district on this side, that's a +5. I'm starting to like this idea more and more. If we change this to be the city, what does this buy us? Change this to be, so we lose out on a little bit of science. That adjacency is just not as good. So I think that being said, we leave this city as we laid it out initially. We delete that harbor. We don't need it on that side. This is looking like an okay city. I could live with that. We could even maybe work in a, whoops, an industrial zone here and increase our adjacencies a little bit more. That might be a stretch. I don't know that we need it. But why don't we, at the moment, we know that we want to move this settler over here and settle that city. Interestingly enough, and I think I covered this 2 episodes ago now, France is exerting enough pressure to run Samaria out of this city. And I would love to get vision on this city and see if that's happening there as well. We can either shoot this galley or, hear me out, we walk over here and get vision on Samaria and see if they're having loyalty issues all the way over there as well. This scout is getting close to getting on land, should be safe at this point. This builder is actually getting roadblocked by some Chinese naval units from that barbarian. That's going to help it out. Our galley has returned to our borders here. We're going to fortify until it's healed. We've got a quick deal, it looks like. There's a special Congress meeting. Catherine has a military emergency. Has captured Uruk. Sure, we'll give it 1 upvote here. Not too passionate about it. Whatever happens, happens. If we piss off France, not too worried about it. So it sounds like it passed. We heard the war declaration sound of the swords. Let's see who all we are at war with now. So we did meet a civ leader that we hadn't previously met. It did pass. Who's on our side? So Gilgamesh is on our side. Sultan's on our side. Okay. Interesting. I can't believe we actually did get the first, no, sorry, we did not get the first. We have circumnavigated the globe. I think the first circumnavigation gets you 5 era score. We got 3, which is still pretty great. Looks like we also got +3 from meeting the
There is no easy way to
Arabian
train
people.
an apprentice.
We've
There
finished
might be
researching
tools.
apprenticeship. We have a natural disaster, of course. We know that. Why don't we look at quick deals? We have an extra resource of turtles. I want to sell that when we can. And let's give that to our, you know what, let's increase this. We'll trade those away. We'll get more gold per turn for that. We're still pumping out 74.7 gold per turn. We're doing our exploring over here with our scout. We did find another city-state. It's an economic city-state. Wow, we've uncovered a lot of land now through this war declaration up here. Again, we're allied with them, so we have met them now, and we get all of their vision that they had. Speaking of allyship, let's see. Is there anything that we can trade for here? He's got tons of writings, great writings. This one is a +4/+4. He wants a ton of gold for that. I wonder if I can talk him down. If we give him some amenities, it looks like it's working. +26 per turn, +9 per turn. Let's think about this for a moment. I'm not going to take it at this time, but we'll keep that in the back of our heads that we can purchase a great writing. And let's see what our great works. We have one in our palace, in our capital, and so we can only get one if we buy one or if we unlock one. Why don't we, looking at our tech tree, we're one turn away from getting the boost with our aqueduct, which means it's the exact right time to start military engineering. Once it gets going, it should knock off basically a turn and a half, almost 2 turns from that production queue. Let's see what production we can do in our capital. 14 for a university, 6 for a lighthouse. I think that makes more sense at this point. You could also get walls online. There's not really a great industrial zone. There are some good looking theater squares. No need for an aqueduct. We could alternatively start on the Colossus. It's down to 19 turns and we get +1 trade route capacity, but it would wipe out some of our good fish tiles. We're going to sit on that for the time being. The AI doesn't typically build that, so we might still be able to grab it later on in the game. We do have some medieval era units that we could start producing here in the knight and the man-at-arms. I'm thinking let's do the lighthouse. It's 6 turns, and it gives us a bunch of, here we go, 20 plus 25% combat experience for all naval units trained in the city, +1 food on all coastal tiles in the city, which is going to help for all the 1 food and 1 gold tiles that we have being worked. We're almost to 10 pop in that city. +2 housing if the city is adjacent to the coast, which it is. So we'll bump it from 14 to 16 housing after this. It also grants +1 trade route capacity if the city does not yet have a market building, which it does not. So we'll get another trade route capacity, which will bring us from 1 to 2. It also grants +2 gold per turn, +1 housing per turn, +1 citizen slot, which isn't too useful, and +1 great admiral point per turn. So that 6 turns is going to go to great use. Got so many icons here on our right side. Let's see if they'll clear after this turn. If not, I'll start clearing them manually by right-clicking them. We are just about done with exploration up here, which is great. Hopefully we can slither out before Norway closes his borders off. If not, we'll make an open borders with them. I did just have the realization, last episode I put this horseman on fortify until healed. Because we don't have horses, it will not heal this unit, which really stinks. Why don't we, I don't think there's a whole lot of barbarians in these waters anymore. We're going to step them down and try and run them over onto this landmass before it's too late. We'll do some exploring in there. I think there's still enough land not yet visible to us.
میخواهم درباره زیبایی اسبان با تو سخن بگویم.
Okay. Teddy Roosevelt wants to make us a deal. We're giving him our iron for horses. I don't see the need for that, so I'm going to refuse it at the time. Our bank is rolling. We're at 1,200 gold again. We could probably spend it and buy maybe a builder or something. We're going to get our fourth city online, and so maybe we'll build a builder there or buy a builder there. We did get the Eureka towards the military engineering science. That brings us to 1 turn to finish that up. That was the aqueduct that we finished. Let's start moving this scout. Let's look at where we want to go with them. We'll continue to go up this way, north, northwest. This scout here is not really needed anymore. We've discovered all this land that we were sending him up to look at. We'll snake him along the coastline and maybe he can start over in this fog. See if there's anything worth finding. At this point, France is blocking our, oh, great. So France is blocking our builder here. We're at war with her because we just voted against her, so we can't get open borders. I didn't think about that. So this unit here is just going to go to sleep for now. We did get vision on Samaria, and just as expected, they have 2 cities left in the game, and both of them are flipping loyalty to France. So that stinks for them, kind of stinks for us. It's only going to make France even bigger and more powerful. If we could have got our hands on one of them, maybe we would have had a fighting chance to get our loyalty pushing into France, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen now. Hopefully, when we do settle this city, it does not have huge French loyalty issues. It very well could if she's pushing loyalty that hard right now. Alternatively, it looks like Kish, the capital of Samaria, is taking some war with this city-state. We could spend some gold here and buy a unit, which I think I will. One is going to grant me a unit for cheaper gold than it would have been to produce it, if I could have even produced a specialty unit, which I can't. And hopefully next turn that means it'll convert to a city-state. It'll stop attacking Kish, which I don't know that it'll prevent Kish from being overrun by loyalty from France, but it won't hurt it. This builder is here on the crabs. We're going to plop down our fishing boats, granting +1 food and half a housing space. Let's take this unit. I'm going to move him to our new city once we found it and fortify him there. We've got to run that horseman all the way to the west. We're going to see what we can see here with this boat. Can't see a whole lot. This is a nice looking Panama Canal tile though, depending on what's on the other side, if this is a lake or another sea or something. Why don't we... Okay, let's pop into our 3rd city here. We could start on the library. I think makes a lot of sense. We could also purchase the tile for our harbor and get it plopped down, which also makes a lot of sense. Looking at our potential theater squares, okay, doesn't make a lot of sense to plop it down yet. And looking at our industrial zones, we have some great ones here based on our aqueduct. And I don't think there's anything else that we need to be producing up here. We could grab a builder, but at this point we've got so much gold and gold per turn, I think we're just going to be buying our builders from here on out. Let's get going on the library. We could do the harbor like I said, but I think the library makes a lot of sense. We're getting a ton of science per turn. Let's check America. We've surpassed America now in science per turn. They're sitting at 81.6, we're at 88.8, 44, 54, 59, 52, 4.8 for Samaria, 53.3. Yeah, so we're leading the way in science per turn. Just out of curiosity, have we caught up to anyone yet? We have. So we've passed Norway finally. We've left them in the dust. We're tied now with 4 other civs, it looks like. And America is only, looks like they're falling in this tree here. So they're only one more step beyond us at this point. So we are catching up quick on the science tree. Let's do a little bit more planning. I'm going to drop a tack. This could very well be a farm here, but right now I'm going to call it an industrial zone just to remind me that I get plus adjacency here on both the surrounding tiles for the theater square and also for off of the aqueduct and the theater square towards that industrial zone. It'll ruin that farm triangle going on there, but I don't think we're having food issues too bad in this city. If we are, we could maybe get, I think it's Reina, the governor. Let's see, no, Liang. Liang can build aquaculture, build fisheries, and that gives you +1 food, +1 housing, and +1 food if it's adjacent to a sea resource, which some of them would be. So Liang could be a good governor up here. That'd be +2 food here, here, here. So food doesn't seem to be an issue if we don't work a farm triangle in here. Got another delegation. We're going to welcome them in. Would really like to get alliances unlocked so I could get my alliance with Harold. We've finished military engineering. We've also finished our civic game and games and recreation. We're going to take a look at our policies. This still makes a lot of sense. This maybe doesn't make as much sense. We don't really need more housing space. All of our cities have plenty of housing. We could plug in urban planning again, which I think that I will. Reason being, it's going to give +1 production in all cities, which means our new city, our 4th city that we're about to settle, will get +1 production immediately for free. So that'll be useful. We're not gaining anything off the great scientist per turns. We don't really need a great general. We'll keep in the +2 great writer points per turn. And I believe that'll set our agenda there. We'll keep walking up here with our scout, see what we can see. We're going to send this boat all the way back to our borders, our territory, with the intent and goal of healing him back to full health. Let's open up our tech tree. We're not really dying to get a dam, but it would be nice to unveil these techs that we haven't unveiled yet. We could get our third archer and boost this one, which I think we will do. And so I think at the moment, unless we want to skip up here to astronomy, which we will get that boosted, certainly. Killing a unit with a musketman will be hard. I don't know that we're dying to get that unlocked, but why don't we do it for the sake of it? We're going to go to square rigging for now. We'll see what we can boost. And what's this university cost? 30 turns. It's next to a mountain. This university costs 14 turns. It's next to a mountain, but I think that'll go up once we get our lighthouse online. Sorry, down, I guess. It'll take less turns once we get the lighthouse going. And let's take a moment and survey. So Alliances is up here in civil service. It is currently unlocked. It's going to take me 26 turns, but it'll be boosted once we get 10 pop. And our capital is at 9 pop. It's about to boost in 2 turns. So civil service makes a lot of sense. Don't think we need defensive tactics at the moment. Definitely don't need military training at the moment. We could do naval tradition plus adjacency on harbors, which would be fun to have, and another envoy. But let's do civil service first. We'll get the alliance online, and that'll give us another boost as well. This archer here is no longer really granting us a bunch of vision that we needed. It does look like this clan settled and formed a city-state. Why don't we start sending this archer back where it came from, back to our territory. By the way, let's count. We've got 1 archer, it looks like. So we would need to, and can we even buy them anymore? We can. We would need to buy 2 archers to get the boost. It could be worth it. What's the production value on them? It'd be 8 turns to pop out 2 of them from our capital. Could also be worth doing so after the lighthouse. Let's see what happens in 4 turns once we get that lighthouse online. Could very well buy the university and free up the production towards the 2 archers instead. Both of them will grant us boosts on our tech tree. This guy's going to pop into the city once he can. He's just going to step here for now and rest. This horseman is on his way towards this landmass over here. I'm going to step him up as soon as I can just to avoid any potential barbarian conflict and run him through the land there. We did lose suzerainty of Hunza. Our quadrime is going to take some shots from a barbarian galley, it looks like. That nearly killed them. There's Canberra grew to 10 pop, so we get +1 era score for becoming a thriving metropolitan lifestyle. It'll also grant us our inspiration, like we just discussed, towards civil service. That's going to earn us our alliance ability. I'm going to take this scout, and he's in the hills. He doesn't have the bonus of movement speed on hills, so it's going to take him a while. We're going to sneak that scout around that volcano and hope it doesn't erupt. We're now in place to settle this settler where we wanted to. Does it still make sense where we have him? And I think that answer is yes. We're going to take out those woods, settle down, step this unit into the city, garrison it. We're going to take this horseman, move him as close as we can for now. We are not going to make it out of here alive, it doesn't look like. We either step forward 1 and get attacked and killed next turn by this galley. Alternatively, we could shoot the galley right now, which would be a victory because it's a ranged unit, but not enough to save our life. Or we can retreat and hope to God someone else kills that galley before they find us in this little cove here, which I think is the only way we might survive this one. We're going to pop into our city-states here and take a look at all the new city-states that we found have mostly been economical city-states. This one, so Hunza we lost. We need 1 more envoy in there. We're going to get an envoy here in a few turns, 6 or 7 it looked like. Production. So our new city here, let's take a look. I think I definitely want to buy a builder here. It's going to get some production online since all these are +1 food and +1 production or gold tiles. Let's work the granary at the moment. Let's also pop in here, gold purchase, and buy a builder. Can't do anything with it yet. I think we have 2, and we have 1 governor tile available. We could promote Magnus. It's not doing a whole lot for us. You know what? Let's do surplus logistics. We do have a trade route in and out of our capital. We're about to have a second one once we get our lighthouse online. I think it's 2 or 3 turns away still. So getting that plus food and growth on our trade routes will be nice. Go ahead and move on to the next turn. So Samaria has lost. Yeah, of course he's going to blame us. We'll say apologies, we'll look somewhere else in the future. We pretty much will. We're going to be looking up here. We're not going to get any closer to him. They did lose 1 city on loyalty, and it has flipped to a free city state now. France is likely to take that over. China had a lot to say to us. Don't really care. There's a lot of combat going on in this game right now, with everyone at war with each other. We're going to take this scout and just continue to move as much as we can. Same with that scout. This horseman can almost step on land. The good news here is that barbarian galley did not chase us. I'm wondering, I've never tried this before, but what if we open up open borders? It's going to cost me 1 gold with Norway. And I wonder if, because it's friendly territory, if I can step in here and rest and repair, which I can't. But maybe he will provide a little bit more protection for me against that barbarian galley. So we're going to put him to rest right now. We're going to take this builder. Let's do, I think the move here is we're going to have to just buy tiles, which is fine. We're going to step onto the turtle tile. We'll buy that turtle tile next turn unless, yeah, we'll have to buy it next turn. It's going to take way too long to grow into it. I think now that I'm looking at it, picking the granary was the wrong move in that city as well. So let's revisit that this turn. Continue to move these scouts. This guy's almost out of work. This horseman still can't get on land. This guy's still safe. What we're going to do in this city, instead of the granary, let's go into production and let's immediately drop this harbor where we know that we want it. +4 harbor, it's right next to the city. It's got flat land outside of it, which is a potential mausoleum tile. Now we'll start working the granary again. We'll also come in here and gold purchase that tile with the turtles on it. It's a better tile than all of them were already. We're also going to drop the fishing boat on it, which gives us another +1 food and a half housing space. The half housing is not too needed at the moment. We're going to see if we can. We don't really want to run Samaria out of the game, but why don't we just attack him and gain some XP since it's a free city state anyway? That archer won't be enough to take him out of the game or kill that city. Looking in our capital, we could drop our theater square still, but I'm going to keep that open. And this is where we talked about potentially either gold purchasing 2 archers here, or more than likely, why don't we gold purchase the university and work on those archers? So let's see, it's 1,000 gold. It's going to be almost all of our gold to buy the university. We could also buy a trader, which is going to increase our gold output here. I think, for the sake of it, I think to try and maximize everything that we can, we have to gold purchase this university. And so we'll do that. Instant Eureka boost on astronomy. We'll also come back into the city state and start working on our archer. This will be archer 2 because it won't count any previous archers that we had. Let's throw into our quick deals real quick. We've got an extra turtles online now that we can sell, which we will. And we'll send those to Norway. They're going to pay us quite a bit of gold for it. Continue to explore with these scouts where we can. Oh, there's an unclaimed. Here, You're kidding me. Let me on the land. Everything's going to take too many turns here. Okay, so this is actually good. This galley has approached us. It looks like Norway attacked him for us, and we're going to get the finishing blow on him, which is going to grant us a bunch of XP for killing a unit. This builder now, we could get the crabs online. I think it grants an extra food or 2 on the tile. Alternatively, we buy one of these tiles and put a lumber mill on it, or we just start dropping farms on these tiles and increase food. I think we do the crabs for now. We continue to shoot with this archer when we can. This archer hopefully doesn't die. It's being attacked by the swordsman from that free city-state. This scout is getting close to an enemy. Who is this? Free city-state man-at-arms. So there's got to be a free city-state somewhere in here then, because that's a long way from anyone else that I know.
Like to the apples on
Cool.
the Dead
We've
Sea
discovered the
shore,
Great Sea, another natural
all
wonder.
ashes to the taste.
Grants 10 more XP to the scout unit that discovered it. Also grants us +1 era score for discovering it. We also see the edge boundary of that free city-state. I'm wondering if it was maybe China that settled too close to America. We're going to cautiously move this quadrime out of here. I think that was the last barbarian unit. Norway, by the way, killed the... Whoops. Norway killed... Come on, get out of there. Killed off that barbarian clan that was created that galley there. We do have open borders with Norway, so if we do get stuck by border expansion, we can still make it out. This horseman is finally going to step on land. It's going to have better movement speed now that it is on land. That is the worst feature of Civ 6. So we just stepped onto that tribal village, which should give you some sort of buff, either gold or something of the likes. Maybe even a Eureka if you're lucky. Instead, that one granted us 100 faith in a game that we have no use for faith in. We're going to drop the fishing boat here on the crabs, grants us +1 food there. It's only going to increase the population quicker. Our second city we have already dumped in a few turns into an archer. We'll continue to dump them into that 3 turns. That'll finish our third archer, giving us that boost on our tech tree for machinery. Sounds like someone just went to war. One of our city-states was involved in that. Oh man, so we just lost that archer, unfortunately. I didn't think he would be able to take us out that easily, but I guess I was wrong. That happens from time to time. We'll move that scout. We gotta get that guy back to our borders to heal him. It looks like there's a hurricane here. I'm hoping I don't take damage from it, but my luck, I probably will. We'll see what happens here. If Valletta can lower that crossbowman, maybe we can swing in and steal that. Oh yeah, should definitely do enough damage to where we can take that crossbow, as long as it doesn't kill us in advance. This archer here can just stay put. I'll fortify him in the city district there. Let's also see what we can do for trade routes. We got another, sorry, our initial trader has returned, it looks like. We do have 3 trade routes open at capacity. The most gold we can get looked like 13, yep, to Brussels. We can also get a envoy for free at 10.3 gold per turn, and I think that makes a lot of sense at this point in the game. Why don't we do it? We're going to try and get 2 more traders in there. And this guy has 1 build charge left. What do we want to build with him? How about we're going to move him towards this fish tile. We'll buy that fish tile next turn and plop down a fishing boat. Back in our capital, we're looking at production again. I think what I want to do here is pop out another trader. We'll continue to grow our gold output per turn, which is going to turn into free production, like the 1,000 gold that we just spent on a university. Makes a lot of sense to me. We don't really want to dump 24 turns into another university. Why don't we work on ancient walls in this city? Actually, you know what? I'm going to buy that tile for 105 gold. And now, at this point, I will plop down my +2 campus, or sorry, not campus, harbor here. Either one would have been fine. This one's +2, this one's +2. I don't think it really mattered, in my opinion. So we'll just drop it there. It's right next to the mountains. And with that being said, we're going to play our one last turn. So we're going to hop into that last turn now. China wants an embassy. We'll give it to them. Let's also take a look after this turn. Come on, man. Really? They're going to attack my scout over attacking the city-state troops that are going to kill them here soon. Entering the Renaissance era, we've completed research on square rigging. Let's take... Remember, there's a free city-state here that has units that want to attack us. I do want to get vision on them, though. Okay, so it looks like it was a Chinese city. It's now flipping in 1 turn. It's going to become an American city. And 1 turn, let's go ahead and step them up. I'm not too worried now. Continue to snake this way back to my borders. This horseman, of course, had to take damage from that hurricane, which really stinks. This scout took damage from that crossbowman, which really stinks. We'll step him back 1 tile and fortify until he's healed. In this city, we're going to come in and purchase for 110 gold that second tier tile, which once I exit that, I can take this builder and immediately use the charge for a fishing boat for granting us 1 additional food per turn in there. Let's take a look. We're getting 3.6 food per turn, 3.5 production per turn. We've got 2 pop, and it's going to take 7 or 5. Let's start working more food tiles and get that population up. And once we have population, the production will follow. Take a look at our tech tree here. Could do astronomy, which is boosted. We could do cartography, which is boosted already. Why don't we? Right now we're tied in first place in terms of how far along in the tech tree you are. I really like mass production. One, it gets you shipyards unlocked. It also gets you the Venetian arsenal, which is a great wonder to have. But I think, you know what, let's do it. We're going to do astronomy straight into mass production. And with that being said, we are at our final turn here. We're going to take a look in quick deals. There's nothing that we can do, nothing we really want to buy there. So with that being said, that's the end of this episode, and we'll see you on the next one. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and